Today we're going to look at the Warriors versus Mavericks last night. We can see it was tied at 120 with a minute 40 to go in the game. We're going to see what led to the final result, as you'll see momentarily. So the first thing we want to comment on is Draymond is setting a ball screen up the top. The Mavericks are icing this ball screen, which means that they're forcing Steph Curry to the right. They want him to go exclusively away from the middle and force him to play essentially in this half of the court. So we'll see that Steph does a great thing here. He essentially feints like he's going to go right and then forces it back to the ball screen because he knows that's not the way they're expecting. This play and the result of it is all on number 25 in my opinion. He needs, his number one priority has to be Steph goes not to the middle. When you get in this situation, you force the post player of the Mavericks to essentially play 1-on-2 guarding two elite NBA players, and that is a very difficult task, and Draymond is able to finish with the and one. So again, this all is because Steph was able to get over the top of the screen, and it forces the 2-on-1 of this post player in the middle. Dre hits his free throw, and Golden State is up 3 with a minute 20. Here we're going to see the Mavericks come up and set a ball screen. Golden State wanting to get the ball out of Luka's hands, trap up in the corner and force him to essentially pull to the rolling 35. Essentially in this situation, Golden State is willing to live with a two-pointer semi-contested in the paint versus giving up an open three. You can see Steph does a good job shading both sides, and DiVincenzo is making sure he's straight up and vertical and not getting any fouls called. So they can live with that shot right there because it means that they still maintain a 1-point lead. Warriors coming down here. They try and run the same ball screen. One note here is because they are getting iced, Draymond just decides to pop, and Steph can throw it to him, and they go into a dribble handoff, which is a nice little action. Essentially, they're like, oh, they're not letting us ball screen, that's fine, we'll just go into a dribble handoff, which is the exact same concept, just maybe slightly easier to get into it. Possession doesn't really lead a whole lot. Good defense by 25. Get the ball back, and a contested three, difficult shot, Mavericks ball. Okay, Mavericks bringing the ball up. I love the fact that Kuminga's just harassing Luka the entire way. That's wonderful. So this time, notice, differently than last time, because it's not a post player involved in the screen, they're just going to switch this instead of trapping up in the corner because they trust Clay on Luka, essentially. Mavericks create space. Draymond Green, I love this as well. As soon as Luka starts to drive, Draymond is cheating all the way over. Why is he cheating all the way over? Because 35 is not a good three-point shooter. So that's the beauty of understanding the personnel of who you're playing against. And Draymond Green is one of the absolute best at that. Clay stays, great defense, difficult shot. Luka kind of flails a little bit right here. That's good defense by Golden State. All right. So in this situation, the first thing of note is with 26 seconds on the clock, Dallas elects not to foul and essentially play for, they're going to have 7 seconds at the end of this shot clock, which is, I don't know. I'd be curious to see the stats on that, whether that's a good move or not. Okay, Drake comes up with the ball screen. Notice they switch this, which is interesting to start with. They're saying that Steph Curry, they trust their big in the pick and roll right here. Steph comes downhill, and I absolutely love this action. We can see it set up. Draymond knows, one, that he has a massive size advantage in this post. They're not going to feed him, but he can still use it as a weapon. So he also knows that Steph has a speed advantage out here, so there's a decent chance he gets downhill. So the moment he gets downhill in front of their post player, Draymond is going to use his body to seal out the Mavericks defender and make sure there is no help coming. Referees never call this. They almost never call this. Occasionally they will, but if you use your body in a situation away from the ball, they're almost for sure going to let it happen. And this is one thing that I think needs to be used more on all three levels, college, high school, and NBA. So look at Luka right here. He's advocating for a foul called, but they are just never going to call this foul. Never, absolutely never. That's good offense. You can see Bullock is upset right here, but that's good offense by Draymond Green and Steph Curry. Then finally, we go to the last play. Golden State in this situation should be making sure they don't foul and making sure they don't give up a even loosely contested three. So you can see right here as the pass goes in, this must have been a semi-read. Okay, that's a good pass. You're going to get decent quick bucket. But Draymond, even when he's pursuing, he's not going super aggressive. He knows that ball's coming. He knows hands out, no foul called. Let him shoot a contested two because that's what they want. Golden State saves it. And then after making the free throws up by 5, it would seem to be a semi-dire affair, even though they make the three. Nice shot.